Hey, welcome back to the Talking to Teens show. And today, if you are a guy and you want to date, you are dating, you're thinking about dating, you have a prospect, some girl that's in your radar, your doot, and you're thinking, I think I'd like to be her boyfriend. So this is the show for you, all right? And it's not only just the show for you, okay? But hey, girls, if you have a boyfriend, you have someone that's already in your sights as well, you might want to direct them to this show because that's what we're going to talk about today is guys, how do you treat your girlfriend, your almost to be girlfriend, someone you're talking to, someone that really you want a relationship with. Which, hey, I got to tell you, it doesn't mean that you can't treat all girls nicely, okay? No matter what you think of them. I love how a friend of mine would say to her boys, hey, you need to be nice to every girl because as she gets older and she's maybe out of school, she might be a hottie and you might be like, wow, I guess I shouldn't have treated her like that in high school because now I'd like to date her. Those are just some little things to think about already in advance here. Okay. So let's just get started. We're just going to talk about this. Okay. Because, yeah, guys, if you know, I- first of all, you might not know how to treat your girlfriend. So maybe we're going to say right now that you are already dating her and you're not too sure how to treat her because maybe you have sisters, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't have that great of a relationship with your own mom or just your parents in general, okay? That maybe your dad isn't telling you or even showing you, for that matter, how to treat a girl, how to treat the one that you want to date, the one that you want to be with, the one you want to spend, hey, maybe the rest of your life with. Because remember, I say that the reason why you date is because what? Let's all say it together now that you want to marry this person. Okay. Now, and I'm not necessarily saying that specific person, but yes, that you should be dating because you want to marry. Okay. So, yeah, if that person treats you like crap and you treat them like crap, then maybe you need to not be dating. All right. But this doesn't mean that this show is not for you still, because at some point, in time, you might want to have a relationship. So if that person, yes, that you're dating, then maybe, hey, guess what? You need to break up because maybe you're just not ready to be in a relationship. So then this show can help you to prepare for that day. Okay. And if you are in a dating relationship, so here's, like I said, if maybe your dad hasn't showed you how to treat a lady, okay? And your mom hasn't talked to you on, wow, okay, you know what? Your girlfriend, she probably doesn't like to be treated like your friends because your girlfriend doesn't like to be treated like your friends. So if you have no one in your life telling you that, well, hey, I just did, okay? So your girlfriend, even the one that you want to maybe date, this is the prospect of someone that you want to date because again, remember, you're dating because you would like to marry. And it should probably be then if you want to marry then that person you're trying to see if and I know hey, you're in high school right now, so you should not necessarily be thinking, "Oh gosh, well I can't wait to get married the day after I graduate." But you do want to be thinking, right, in terms of, hey, marriage. Is this person someone that I would really truly want to grow with, spend the rest of my life with, have little babies with, because they treat me good, because I treat them good, because I actually like to be with this person. Because how many times do you even see, this is probably almost every single person that gets married. And then what do they put on their social media? I'm marrying my best friend today. And sometimes you're like, whatever, that is not your best friend. Because the way you guys treat each other, but that's what they do, don't they? They say those things, they put that out there and they make it seem like, oh my gosh, I just love them so much. And I'm marrying my best friend. And sometimes they're not. That is not your best friend because they treat you like crap. So if that's your best friend, you need a new best friend. So what things have you been taught? If you would like to respond to that, Please do. And what things maybe that you've learned now that you're thinking, okay, you know what? Now that I've dated a little bit, I I should not have acted like this. I should have been more like this. Because maybe uh, even as you've gotten older, okay, and hey, I know you're not that old because if you're a teen, you are not that old. And really, there's a lot of teenagers that have had several relationships already. And you know what? That can definitely lead to unhealthy because when you get in a relationship and you just get in one and that doesn't work out, so you just break up, break up, break up, break up. All right. That's not teaching you how to stay in a relationship. And again, you should not just stay in a relationship because you want to have something to do on Friday nights or the weekend or because you want to just have sex. Okay. That is no reason to be in a relationship or because you just don't want to be lonely. It doesn't mean you can't be lonely because you are in a relationship. When I go to activity things, games, whatever it is, I can look across and see the teens and I can see the ones that are totally miserable and they're dating and they're sitting right next to the person that is their boyfriend or their girlfriend. And you can totally just see, wow, okay, you know what? That sometimes they're thinking, okay, why am I still with them? They're totally ignoring them. They're on their phone. And the person they're dating, seeing that they're together with, there's like no contact. There's no relationship. They're just like sitting there and it's like, oh, okay. Are they like going out? Yeah, they are, because why would they be sitting together? Right? Right. And it doesn't mean you have to be sitting together and that you have to just be constantly all up on each other because that's just nasty. Okay. But when you have like no emotional connection at all, and I'm not saying you just have to be like all over each other and just lovey dovey and oh my gosh, I'm not talking about that kind of emotion. I'm talking just like that. It looks like you maybe want to talk to that person because a lot of times it doesn't look like that, or you see them and they're together walking and you can tell that one of them is like, okay, why are they over here with me? Why are they talking to me? Because they don't know how to break up. So maybe that'll be another show. How to break up, which, okay, that's, that might make you sad, but it might make some of you happy. So when you are with a girl, guys, yeah, you should talk to her. And your only form of communication shouldn't be through social media. And when they're sitting with you, you don't know how to have a conversation or how to laugh or how to have fun unless it's through social media because they sent you this video and ha ha ha, that's funny. But now when they're with you, it's like instant crickets and you're both on your phones and you're both looking at your social media because that's the only way that you have now come accustomed to communication. So that is, of course, for guys and girls. Guys, the reason why I'm saying this to you first and foremost is because guess what? You're the leader. All right. And if you haven't been, you should be, because when you get married, you are the leader in your home. And first and foremost, you are the spiritual leader. But see, you're still the leader. Okay. Now, whether or not you believe it, whether or not your dad is doing that, that doesn't even matter because when you are in a relationship, you are the one who should be leading. And where are you leading your girlfriend? Where are you going to lead the person that you want to date? What are your thoughts? What are you thinking that a leader looks like? So you can let me know that as well. But I'm going to give you some things, okay? Some things that a leader looks like is that you lead, okay? But like I said, but where are you leading them? Where are you leading your girlfriend? And that means that you stand up, yes, for what is right. That you, if she's trying to um, have some extracurricular activities with you, then you say no. I remember a guy, and he had said to me, which of course, he said, I went to this party, Shauna, and I know I shouldn't have been there, but this girl, so he's telling me he's totally trashed out drunk. He's sitting in this chair, and this girl is totally wasted. And she comes up to him and she is trying to, okay, have sexual uh, encounters with him. So he grabs her hands and he picks her hands up and then he says, no, I'm not going to do that with you because you are so drunk. I'm not going to do that with you. So, hey, okay. Now, yeah, he was drunk. She was drunk. So, yeah, he totally could have taken advantage of her that she may not have remembered because apparently he was remembering because he was telling me about it. So then what he just did, okay, was the right thing. He actually was leading her because he could have led her to the bedroom or, but he didn't. So that in itself was actually commendable. Now, that is one way that you are leading. So if your girlfriend, your relationship, and hey, she might not even be your girlfriend right now. Where are you leading her? What is the direction that you are taking her? Because she's going to follow you. And where is it that you are going as a man? Because as you get older, right, you become more of a man. So, what ways are you becoming a man? What ways are you leading her because of your manhood? Or what direction are you going in your manhood? Okay. And just because someone has sex, that does not make you a man. All right. Because, hey, guess what? Dogs have sex, don't they? And a dog is not a man, but you can be a dog. All right. But that doesn't make you a man. So you need to think about that. So, where are you leading this girl that you want to possibly marry? Where are you leading this relationship? Okay. What are the things that you are doing that's standing up to have integrity, to be a strong leader? Now, that doesn't mean that you're strong in muscles. All right. It means that you're strong mentally in the sense of your integrity, that you're a strong, healthy, okay, person. That's what that means because you can still have muscles and be weak. And just because you stand up for what is right doesn't make you weak. That actually makes you strong. And fighting, physically fighting, does not make you the man that you got to show her that you're not weak and that you're not a coward and you're going to stand up and fight and do these things. All right. Because no, that's not, she doesn't need that. Now, it's different if you are standing up for her because someone is being a total jerk. All right. But that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be fighting every single person all the time because really a girl that wants you just to be fighting, that's probably not the girl for you. You should, she shouldn't want that. And she shouldn't want you to be doing that, just beating people up all the time. And you shouldn't be doing that. It doesn't mean that you don't have testosterone in you and that you want to, be fighting. It doesn't mean that you should be. Another thing that is a good leader is self-control, which I just kind of gave you the example, didn't I? Self-control is that you're not just fighting everybody. Self-control is that hey, you know what? That you're not just having sex. That's self-control. Self-control is what you say and how you say it, because sometimes you just say things and just blurt things out, and maybe you shouldn't have said it. Having self-control is a good leader. Standing up for what is right is a good leader. Having integrity, and that just means the integrity is this, that you let your yes be yes and your no, no, that you aren't compromising situations, and that you're not putting her in a compromising situation because you want something, because you want it to be your way. So you don't do that as a good leader. Okay. And another thing too is when I'm saying that you stand up for what's right, because hey, when I just said maybe you're feeling like, oh, you know what, this is not the girl for me. Like, I don't even want a relationship right now. Well, you know what? That's one of the things too, is sometimes you do need to break up. But like I said, hey, I understand, it can be hard to do that. And then you might be thinking, well, then if I break up, then what am I going to be doing? Well, hey, maybe you then will find who you are. Maybe you will start to develop things on, like knowing who you are again, because so many times teenagers, and this just isn't in a teenager, okay? But when you do this as a teenager, you take it into adulthood. So when you date all of the time and you constantly have a relationship, it becomes your identity. So when you just have that be your identity, and as you get older, that still becomes your identity. And then if you did break up, then you don't want to break up because then you're like, well, what am I going to do? Because see, the relationship has become your identity. It's okay to be single. It truly is. And it's okay if you are single and you're watching the show, because it doesn't mean you will be single forever. But in this show, it's going to help you develop who you would want to be. So when you do think you would like to be married and you do think, well, you know what, I would like to be married and I think I will start dating seriously now for the person that, that I would like to actually spend the rest of my life with, that I would actually like to have their babies with and stay with them and grow together and live life together. And then what? Become seriously best friends together. Okay. And for real best friends, because your best friend is going to be someone that you share things with, and even like your deepest maybe thoughts with. I won't necessarily say secrets, but I will say your deepest thoughts with, because that person actually, guess what, wants to hear them, and they actually care about how you feel and what you think. It's not all about them. And where the relationship is completely one-sided, that if you weren't listening to them and you weren't doing what they want you to do, then they get mad and they throw these like fits, don't they? And they throw these like tantrums because they want you to do what they want you to do. That is not a healthy relationship. So you might need to think about the relationship that you are in. So again, guys, you want to be a strong leader within your relationship. Okay. And I do know sometimes if you have a girlfriend, a girl, the one that you're maybe thinking about, and she's really strong, opinionated, and then you just let her walk all over you and you let her do whatever she wants, that is definitely not a healthy relationship. And hey, if you marry someone like that, is what's going to happen is she's going to, and I say push the manhood out of you. That's what girls like that are super strong opinionated, they want their way all the time. So what happens in, okay, you might be, start off right here, la 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 la, things are great and wonderful, and then she just starts to becoming more and more overbearing and pushing you down because she wants you to do everything she wants you to do. So she starts to come over and kind of just to start, pushing, like I said, the manhood out of you. So then when you date and it's like that all the time, and then you end up marrying her because now she's pressuring you to marry her. And so then you do, because you want to do everything she tells you to do. You marry her, and then she starts to get mad because, oh my gosh, he's just so lazy. He just doesn't do anything, because you don't know how to be a man. Because if she's not telling you how to do it, what to do and when to do it and how to jump, and what you're supposed to do, and you don't do anything right, see, then you just don't know how to be a man. Unless she's going to tell you. That is not how you lead. Okay. And that is not how you be a man. So you might have to stand up to this person, this girlfriend, this relationship. Hey, it's okay to end it. Okay. And take a breather, take a break. And like I said, find out who you are so she can find out who she is as well. And you might need to be, talking to her and say, hey, you know what? I can't be in a relationship like this anymore because you're a little too bossy. And I don't want to be not this way. Okay. Don't be telling me what to do, girl. You're not the boss of me, but that's kind of how you feel inside. And it doesn't mean that you have to come across that way, but hey, you definitely need to talk to her, don't you? Yeah, you do. Okay. To say how you feel and just let her know, you know what? You're just a little bit too pushy and aggressive for me right now. And I don't want to be in a relationship like that. So when you're saying that to her as well, you know what? You're giving her something to think about too, because maybe she doesn't even know, but because you just comply and you let her, then she thinks it's okay. She thinks it's all right that you're okay with it. She just ignores your feelings. So no, that is not a healthy relationship. And you don't have to stay in that. All right. And definitely, like I said, when it comes to marriage, you are not going to be a happy camper. So definitely think about that. So when I'm saying dating, yes, you think about, can I marry this person? Well, here's the thing. You can marry them. All right. But is it a person I should marry? Is it a person I should be dating? Because we marry who we date. We don't just randomly get a person to marry. Not in our culture in the US. So we marry who we date. So you need to date the right person to marry. All right. Also, guys, okay, so when you are with a girl and you are finding out, do I really want to be with her? And how are you treating her? Another thing is what you do is, especially if you are not having someone in your life, talk to you about how you should be treating a girl. And like I said earlier, your girlfriend, the girl in your life, the girl you want to pursue, okay, does not like to be treated like one of the guys. And if so, then you probably don't want to date her. Because if she is being one of the guys, you just let me know about that. All right. I've known, like, with my brothers growing up, and they had, there were some girls that were just, one of the guys. And they definitely did not want to date her. And they definitely did not want to marry her. So, girls, that's a little freebie for you right there. So if you're thinking of, someone that you want to be with, guys, like I said, you need to treat her a little, not a little, but a lot more gentle. So if you're the type of guy that is like, when you see your friends and you're, rolling around, wrestling all over the place and, punching each other, because, that's kind of what guys do, don't you? And not every single guy, there are some guys that don't. And hey, that's okay too. But if you are that kind of guy, your girlfriend does not want you to be picking her up like that and slamming her on the ground. No, she does not. All right. That is not fun for her. So when she is like, "Oh my gosh, stop." She really is meaning, "Stop, please don't do that to me ever again." That's what she's saying. She might be laughing, but inside she's like, "Oh my golly. This is not fun and I wish he'd stop doing that." That's really what this look on her face looks like. Okay, but that's what she's thinking. So, guys, your girlfriend does not want to be treated like that. She wants you to be gentle with her. She wants you to be, okay, the respectful thing. Yeah, but she wants you to be sweet and caring and not rough like that. And there are some girls that, yes, are a little bit more, and I won't necessarily say like rougher, but that do like to, mess around, but not generally like that. Okay. Hey, there's some girls that wrestle, but I don't know if they want their boyfriend to be wrestling them like they would a guy. So, hmm, you may want to ask that girl, okay, and let me know. So if you know someone that wrestles, okay, guys, if you know a girl that wrestles, ask her that, okay, and then let me know because I'd like to know what her thoughts are on that, okay? But most of the time, a girl, even if she wrestles, she doesn't look like a guy, does she? No, she doesn't. She still looks like a girl, and I don't see them just doing how guys do. Just wrestling all the time and throwing each other around and punching each other, like seriously punching each other. Girls don't generally do that. They might slap each other a little bit, um, but then generally that's because they really are fighting. That's like I said, the girl doesn't want to be treated that way. Guys, the girl that you're thinking about, and when I just said this pursuing, you know what? That right there is definitely something that has, I think, kind of gotten lost is guys doing the pursuing because the girls have gotten so aggressive that a guy, when I had said earlier that when the guy has the manhood taken out of him, he doesn't pursue the girl anymore because now he sits back and he's just kind of, okay, well, whatever she wants to do. There's no pursuing. And it should be that way, that the guy should be pursuing her. She should be not the one pursuing him. The girl that's super aggressive, guys, it should be a red flag to you that, no, I don't really want to be with a girl like that. Because then if she's the one that has to do all the pursuing and the pushing and the being so aggressive because you've gotten just so lazy. And here's the reason why, when I'm saying so lazy, a lot of it is because you have not been taught how to be seriously a man. Because our society today doesn't say what a man should be, what a man is, and how a man just being respected. It's kind of like what is today is men are lazy, they don't do anything, and we need to boss them around and tell them what to do. Otherwise, they like walk around and like "Dur, dur, 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 dur," don't know a thing. All right, that's kind of what society portrays men to be, and that's definitely not true. So when I said earlier, remember when I was saying about how them when a girl then marries a guy like that, she gets ticked off because like, "Oh my gosh, I just can't believe I was just like that." Well, because for one, when you push the manhood out of him, well, hey, then that's why. That is why he then just doesn't do anything, because he has no ambition to do anything. Now, it doesn't mean that every guy, because he has no ambition, it's because he has an aggressive girlfriend or wife, even. Sometimes he's just lazy. Okay, has nothing to do with the woman. He just needed to do some things when he was growing up, and whatever it is, sometimes he's just lazy. And now he's taken the laziness into his marriage or into his relationship. But hey, girls, you don't have to stay with that either. All right, you do not have to stay dating someone who is like that. You can break up, you can end it and say bye-bye. So you can. So don't act like you can't, and don't act like that's the only guy in the world for you and you just don't want to end it. Well, hey, maybe you should, and it's all right if you do. All right. So anyway, guys, here's another thing. You definitely want to be respectful. Okay. And being respectful is really, that is a big thing. And here is probably, I would say, one of the biggest things when it comes to respect, when you are just dating someone or you're pursuing her or you're thinking about, you want to, have her be your girlfriend. Hey, maybe even your wife someday. You need to totally be, first and foremost, yeah, respecting her parents. And that's when they say something to her and she gets in the car with you, or she gets wherever, like wherever it is that you're hanging out, and she just says, oh yeah, well, my parents, they want me to be home, at this time. Oh yeah, well, my parents, well, they told me not to do that. And then you do it anyway. You don't get her home on time. That's totally disrespectful. Okay. Because you disrespecting her parents, you're disrespecting her, and vice versa. You disrespect her because you disrespect her parents. You disrespect yourself when you disrespect your own parents. So when your own parents are telling you, hey, you need to be home at this time, you need to do this before you go out with her, with your friends, whatever it is. Because a lot of times people will go in groups, they go with friends. Hey, pay attention to the group of friends that you are with, because I definitely know there's a lot of friend groups that are doing things that they should not be doing with this friend group. And your parents trust you, don't they? They trust that you are with this group of friends, and you are with a group of friends. So everything is good. Sometimes it's not so good. Maybe it is for you, but it's not things that you should be doing. So pay attention to the friends. Okay. So again, you disrespect yourself when you disrespect your parents. You disrespect your parents, and once again, in turn, that disrespects you, that disrespects her. I hope all that is making very clear sense to you. Just because you have this relationship doesn't mean that you need to be disrespectful and you suddenly don't have to listen to your parents, and you don't have to listen to her parents, because yes, you do. And guys, you definitely, okay, even more than what she does, because hey, this is what a good leader does. A good leader will listen to what her parents say. And she might be saying, well, you know what, they're dumb. And it's just so stupid that they would even say that. You say, well, hey, you know what? Well, I'm going to listen to your parents, because you know what? They are trusting me. Okay, guys, this is you. You would be saying this because they're trusting me with you. And I don't want to break that trust. That's a good leader. And you should not want to break that trust with her parents, because that's important, because they are trusting you with her. So that's huge. That is a big deal. And you need to take that and see that as a big deal, because at some point, you know what? You might have a daughter, and you're going to be remembering all these things. That's why the dad generally is like in the face, or he doesn't like that guy, because what are his motives? What's he going to do? What does he want with my daughter? Who is that? And he suddenly hates you, doesn't he? He may have liked you, like, hey, you're a pretty cool kid. And then the moment you start dating his daughter, what? Who is he? What does he want? I don't even know him. That's how some guys can be, can't they? And then there's some dads that are like, no big deal. Oh, hey, you know what? They don't care. But the most part, most dads care a lot, and they are trusting you with their daughter. And it's the same for the mom. She is trusting you with her sweet, precious daughter. And guys, this is what you have to remember. That daughter is truly one of the most prized possessions in their life. Okay. Now, hey, they might have a son too, but you know what? I got to tell you, it doesn't mean like the son, they don't love the son, but you know what? Hey, they have a daughter, and they love her. And they want to make sure the guy that she's with is going to love her, not love on her and be all up in her business, but love her with respect, because that is what love really is, not because of other things that she can give you. So the parents, they want to make sure that, you know what, you're going to be a decent guy, respectful and caring and loving to their sweet, precious daughter. So, guys, that's another way that you are a good leader. And spending time, yes, with her family and your own family. Because a lot of times, here's what happens when people start dating, then they just hone in and they just go to one house all of the time. Generally, they do that because they have a lot more freedom in that one house. So then they want to be there. Yeah, you know? Okay, they want to be at that one place. Because when they go to the other place, they don't have as much freedom. It's like, gosh, okay, well, hey, are you ready to go now? We were here for 5 seconds. Let's get out of here and go to the other place where we can do whatever we want. So, a good leader, okay, guys, here you go once again. You know what? You have to be like, okay, as much as I want to, not go to the place where I have more guidelines. I'm a little more restricted in what I want to do. You know what? A good leader goes there anyway and plugs in and gets to know the family, and whether they have siblings or not, just that you are spending time with her family and she's spending time with your family. All right. So you need to do that, because that's what a good leader does. Okay. That's what you need to be thinking about. Where am I leading her? What are my motives? And if I do marry her, if she really is the one for me, hey, I know this might sound, like so far out there, but you know what? If I have kids with her, because most of the time people who get married want to have children, what are the things that I will have to tell my children about when we dated? Because they're going to ask you, because I'm sure you asked your parents at some point, whether you remember it or not, because maybe your parents did not answer you. But hey, there's some kids that are super persistent. They want an answer. What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? So they want to know the answer to that question. So you need to be prepared to answer that. So when you are dating, hormones are real. Okay. So maybe before you weren't really that interested in girls, guys, and now you are. And now you're like, what? Hey, look at her. When did that happen? Well, because sometimes it is like overnight. It's like, what? Holy smokes. But you know what? What are your motives? Okay. You need to kind of tone the horses, don't you? Hey, rein in the ponies there. So you don't have to, act on how you are feeling, because once again, self control is a good thing. That's a sign of a good leader, because of self control. Not because those desires are not there, it's because you have the self control to not act on those running rampant hormones. So those are good things, because hey, you know what? You want to be leading your girlfriend in the right direction. And hey, and if you are like this Christian, okay, because if you've seen other shows, you know how I am about that. Like, okay, here we go, Christian. What truly does that even mean to you? Maybe the girl doesn't go to church, but the parents know that you do. What kind of guy are you going to be? Are you going to be this hornball, act like one way in front of her parents, and then the next second, as soon as the door is shut and you're in the car and you are like all over her? Okay. Ew, you know what? Get back over there to your seat and put your seatbelt on, young man. And that's about enough of that. So eventually her parents are going to know what kind of guy you really are. You could only pretend for so long. Just because you're a Christian, so you think, or maybe you really truly are, just because you go to church, just because you go to church several times a week and people maybe consider you religious, that doesn't mean that you don't have things that you should not be having in your life. And hey guys, here's one thing too that is something real, is abuse. And whether it's physical abuse or verbal abuse, that is very real. And a lot of teen relationships can be very abusive. And so many times it's like where the parents don't even know. And the guy then totally takes advantage of that situation and treats the daughter like crap and is very physically abusive to her because he wants what he wants, that is real. Or he is very verbally abusive. So, guys, when I'm talking about how to treat a girl, hey, you know what? That is not how you treat a girl. So, this is whether she's your girlfriend or not. You should not be, especially, okay, verbally abusive to any girl at all. Especially if you have a sister. Whether your sister is older than you, younger than you, whether she's like a year younger, it does not even matter. Hey, you might have a sister that's like in kindergarten and you tell her stuff that, oh, look at that. You look fat wearing that. Why are you so fat? You're eating all those chips all the time. You know, you're going to get fat. Guys, if you talk to your little sister like that, she's going to remember that till the day she dies. And then she might become anorexic. And then she'll be thinking, you know what? I'm like this. I can't get fat because my brother told me that. And I think I was like 5 years old. She's going to remember. I guarantee you. If you do not believe me, go and ask your mom. Hey, did people say things about you when you were young? Oh, yeah, she's going to remember. Instantly, she's going to recall several things that just instantly come to her mind because that is how the female brain works. We remember things, we do not forget those kinds of things. We might forget that, oh, you know what? They were nice to me. We might forget that, but we are not going to forget that you called me fat. Do you remember that commercial? I think it was the Twix commercial. And what was that commercial? So the girl says to him, oh, hey, do you think these pants make me look fat? And his eyes get huge, honking big. And he's like, looking around like, oh my gosh, what do I say? And then he shoves that Twix in his mouth, like, shoves that in his mouth. He's like, you know, you can't understand what he's saying. And she's like, oh, okay, thanks. Because you know what? That guy knew, oh my gosh, I can't say those pants make her look fat because uh that is like, oh, no. No, you don't say that. Now see, another girl can say that. Oh, you know what? Oh my gosh, you know what? You need to take those pants off because they make you look fat. Okay. She's going to be okay with that. But a guy saying that, her brother, even her dad, she's going to take that very personally. Oh my gosh. He thinks I'm fat. Now see, that's not the same thing, is it? Those pants make you look fat. But see, in her mind, oh my gosh, she thinks I'm a fat pig. I will never wear those pants again. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you just called me fat. That's her mind thinking that way. So, guys, okay, how do you talk to your girlfriend? It totally matters. And again, this just is a female period. What you say to your mom, guess what? It actually matters. What you say to your little sisters or your big sisters, and sometimes you're saying that because you want to like hurt their feelings. But man, I got to tell you, that can stay with them, like I said, till what? The day they die. Okay. That can affect them in relationships to come. It totally can affect them in just their life. Like it truly, truly can and does in a lot of females, because again, that's how the female brain works. And guys, it doesn't mean you have to just sit there and be on eggshells and that you can't tell her, so to speak, like the truth, but pay attention to how you're speaking the truth, okay? Like I said, especially to even your little sisters, big sisters, you know, even your aunts, okay? Your aunt, your grandma, whatever. Because when the guy comes across, he's, you know what, he's a total jerk like that. If he's just talking and just saying what he thinks, doesn't mean you should, guys. All right. Sometimes you need to keep those thoughts to yourself and not say anything. Because what's the saying? If you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. That definitely pertains to you. So, what you say to, first of all, your sisters, it matters. So, pay attention to that. Because, hey, and if I mean, you can probably even just see it on their face. So, if you have had a bad habit of talking, just saying rude, awful things to your sister, watch her face, okay? Even pay attention to what her body language is right now. Is she super insecure? Because sometimes that's part of the reason why, is because what her brother is saying to her. Girls are insecure anyway, but when she has someone in her life that lives with her, whether it's her brother or her dad, then that will make her even 10 times more insecure. And guys, that is one of the reasons why the girl is insecure, that she will run off into a relationship that the guy feeds off of the insecurity. And he's like, oh, hey, that was an easy target. So he pursues that until he gets what he wants from her and then just leaves her to the wayside because, that was fun. Did that, done that, over it, see you later. And he does not care and he moves on to the next person. So hopefully you're not going to be that kind of guy. And if you were, hey, repent, okay, right now. All right, God will forgive you. And so, guys, another thing when I was talking about the abuse, okay, that's the mental abuse because guys can be extremely mental abusive to even their girlfriends. Holy smokes, man. I have seen that several times, just the way the guy's just talking to his girlfriend. Girls, if the guy's making you feel like crap or feel less than anyone, you totally need to get rid of him. Okay? Bye bye. Do not even be sad about that. Oh, but I love him, but I miss him. Well, you know what? That's not love. What are you really missing about him? Because if a guy is talking to you, degrading you often, and maybe you've said something to him, girls, like, you know what? I don't like that you talk to me like that. And he keeps doing it. Definitely. Bye bye. See you later. Don't look back and don't be sad about it. All right. Because that is not a guy that you want to date and definitely not a guy you want to marry. So, guys, if that is how you are talking to your girlfriend, well, what? She is like that. Well, then stop dating her. Okay. Then why are you with her? If you think those things about her, because sometimes guys will say that because he wants to lord over her. And he wants to say those things to keep her, see, like suppressed because he wants to be like the boss of her. Like I said, lording over her so that she'll just do whatever he wants her to do. No. All right. That is bad leadership. And that is not the way you should treat any girl, any female, period. Because I've actually seen guys even treat their moms that way. And they're very disrespectful to their mom and rude, and their mom is very like, well, okay, son, whatever you want. Oh my golly. No, that's not how you should treat your mom. And it's definitely not how you should treat any female in your life. When I said before about a girl doesn't want to be treated like your guy friend, you sometimes mess around with words to your guy friends, okay? And they think it's funny and you guys laugh about it. Hey, your girlfriend does not think that's funny. If you are talking about what they look like and how dumb they are. And, guys laugh about that. They shake it off and they're over it. The guy's not going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you called me that. I can't believe you said that about me. No, he's not going to take that generally. Okay. There are some guys that do take it personal, but most guys do not take that personal from another guy. They like, man, I can't believe you just said that. Gosh, and then they get like something within them like, man, I better stop acting like that because my friend just called me out. That's how guys are. Girls are like, oh my gosh, he said that about me. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he said that. That's how she's feeling internally. Then she starts thinking about that all the time. Then she goes to bed and she's still thinking about it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that. That must be true. I just can't believe you said that. And then she starts coaxing up these other things in her head that did not even happen, that you maybe not even were referring to. And she starts making that little statement so explosive. And she holds that and holds it and holds it again, like I said, till when? Till the day she dies. Okay. So, guys, if you have said some things and you know that you need to, you know what, think about apologizing because that right there is another sign of good leadership is that you can actually apologize for something that you did. Okay. And I know that is sometimes for some people, especially as you get into adulthood, is like a bad word. What? I will not say the S word. Sorry. I will never say that. Sometimes you hear this statement where you hear, love is having to never say sorry. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard because no, that is not a sign of love because you never have to say sorry. No, that is stupid. Okay. So if you have that mentality, maybe I'm sure you're single And if not, you're about to be. Saying sorry is you being a good leader because you can say that you are sorry. Your wife, your girlfriend, your children, and I know you're not married, you're not in that situation, hopefully, okay? But hey, if you are, you know what? Hey, you can get in contact with me. We'll talk. Is something that your family, all right, wants to hear. You saying you're sorry is something that your girlfriend, the person you're seeing, maybe you're not even dating anybody yet, just within your family, it's okay for you to say that. That's actually a sign of strong leadership. The fact that you can say, you know what, I'm sorry, I messed up and I shouldn't have done that. Hey, mom, I'm sorry for the way I treated you. I shouldn't have been treating you like that. Holy smokes, that right there, bam, is a good man. All right. If you've done something that you hurt your girlfriend's feelings, or hey, if you hurt someone's feelings in your family and you went to them and you said that you were sorry to your siblings, that is you being a good leader. Because especially if you have a little sibling, all right, and you can apologize for things that you've done, that is a good leader because you're showing them how to lead. Even if you have an older sibling, because you can still show them, you know what, wow, how to be a strong leader and healthy leader, because you can still be a strong leader, but that doesn't mean it's in a healthy way. And that's the point, because these things that I'm saying to you and giving you, these are ways that, guys, how you can be a strong, healthy leader in your relationship. So even if you aren't dating, this is still stuff that will help you just to be that strong leader, period. And that's what matters. And that's what you should want, not just to be thinking that you have to comply or that a strong leader is someone who's flexing their muscles all the time and trying to fight everybody. Because no, that is not a strong leader. So, what about this? That you do go to church, okay? That you consider yourself a Christian, all right? Because if you've seen other shows, you know my stance on this. Because sometimes the Christian community is leading people in a direction that they should not be going, because they can be super judgmental. And hey, you don't have to be a Christian to be judgmental, but when you start saying you're a Christian, people look at you differently, don't they? Oh yeah, they do. Oh, look at them, what they say, they're a Christian. Oh, look at them, oh my gosh, look at the way they're living their life. And they go to church. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And look at the way he treats his girlfriend, and he goes to church. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Or hey, maybe they're even in your youth group and you see the way that they are talking, because we are not to be the same as what the world is, right? Right. We're to be in the world, but not of the world. So it doesn't mean that you can't date, doesn't mean you can't have a girlfriend or boyfriend, doesn't mean you can't have a relationship. It doesn't mean those things. But you know what? When people know seriously what your lifestyle is when it comes to God, that affects people. And sometimes you lead people in a direction that is not of God from the way you live your life, and you say that you're this Christian. Just because you're a Christian, hey, that doesn't mean that you are a Jesus follower. It's, to me, it is two complete different things. You either follow Jesus or you don't. You can say you're a Christian all day long, but that doesn't mean that you follow Christ. And that truly is the difference. So if you guys have this relationship or you're thinking about it, where are you leading your girlfriend? With the way that you're even living your life and the things that you are saying, the things that are coming out of your mouth, just maybe even the disrespect for girls, period. Or even, you know what, because this here matters too, that when you're hanging out with your buddies, your friends, your guy friends, if you're in sports or if you're not. So this doesn't just mean that this is in the sporting community. I'm just talking about guys in general. So you don't have to be this rough and tough guy to disrespect girls. You don't have to be someone who is, super muscular, manly, what people would consider that in image wise, to disrespect girls and disrespect your girlfriend, because what comes out of your mouth with what you're talking about and how you talk about girls can be extremely disrespectful. And when you hear other guys degrading girls and you don't say anything and you're just sitting there and laughing about it yourself, guess what? You know what? You're just as guilty. Truly, because you're not standing up and saying, hey, you know what? I don't think you should talk about girls like that. It's okay for you to say something. I don't think you should be talking about girls like that. You just shouldn't, man. and the things that you're watching, the things that you're looking at. Uh, Pornography, because again, your phone is like a porn hub because everything is so easily accessible on that today. And when you don't have, self-control and you are looking at inappropriate things, that is not a good leader. Because when you are in a relationship, and even if you're not, like I said, you don't have to be this good leader just because you're in a relationship only, because you're still leading somebody somewhere regardless if you have a relationship or not. You are still leading someone somewhere, even if it's just so you think yourself. Where are you leading even yourself? What path are you even taking yourself on? What things are you doing on your phone that you think no one else sees? Because maybe they don't, that you have these hidden secrets in your phone that you're thinking, oh, you know what? Well, it's just a little bit. It's just for a small time. No one else knows about it. But hey, I got to tell you, God knows. And this is whether you are a Christ follower, a so-called Christian, or not. God knows. God sees you. Whether you believe in him or not, God sees you and God knows. So if that's something you need to get help with, then by all means do. Okay? Because that's where strength comes in, because you can admit that you need help. And it's okay that you get help, because that is not something that you want to take into a marriage or just even your dating relationship, even if you're doing that right now, because there's a lot of guys, hey, and not just guys, but girls, people, teenagers, even younger than teenagers, that have an addiction to pornography right now because their phone is so easily accessible to anything and everything. So that's something that, like I said, if you need help to get rid of that in your life, yeah, definitely. Because I have known marriages that the guy had an addiction like that and has ruined marriages. But hey, and girls too, because I've known some girls that have been addicted as well, and what it even did to themselves. And when they got married, they didn't want to have this relationship with their husband. And I've known guys who have had a pornography addiction and have been married, but there's no relationship with their wife, because that is the relationship, is with the pornography. That is very distracting and disruptive and unhealthy. If you're looking at stuff like that, you probably do need help and you need to talk to somebody and get that out of your life. Okay. So hopefully what we talked about today has been something that has given you some things to think about. I want to say thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I will see you in the next Talking to Teen show.